Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Reinventing Mental Health, where we are talking about root causes for mental health and ways that we can treat it functionally. We're also going through people's individual stories. So today we have with us my friend Tom, and I'm going to let Tom introduce himself because he's got quite a few things going on that are really fun and exciting.
Sure. So thanks for having me.
Of course.
This is great. So my name is Tom Cotter. I have a long, sordid story, I suppose, but I run an organization, a nonprofit called Backpack Friends, where we feed kids on the weekends. I also have a business called Rebel 90 that is just based on taking one step towards a better version of yourself. And both of those came out of my own personal kind of story. I'm also an author, singer-songwriter, recording artist, husband, father.
Like I said, he's got a lot of things going on.
A few things, yeah.
Okay, so let's actually start with your nonprofit.
Okay.
So I've heard your story, and I absolutely love it. So can you share that with all of our viewers?
Sure, yeah. So in time flies. So in 2014, there was a girl up in Pflugerville High School that passed out one Monday morning because she didn't have food to eat over the weekend. I had no idea, my wife Heather and I had no idea that in the state of Texas, 1 out of 4 kids doesn't have food to eat when they're away from school. So that's why those school meals, breakfast and lunches, are so important. And Marty, this girl, 10th grader, passed out about 10:30 in the morning in her English class. Because I was involved with the community and some other things, I got pulled into a meeting with the superintendent, and we decided that we would adopt feeding 12 kids at one elementary school, and thought, how hard can that be? We can't fix everything. We can't do everything, but we can do something.
Right.
So we kind of jumped in. I pulled some friends together, some volunteers, some people in the community. We started feeding those 12 kids. We started to grow, and in about 4 years, we were feeding about 88 kids across 4 different campuses. And then a funny thing happens, right? As a musician, I get a call one day from a lady in Round Rock who says, "Hey, I see on social media, on Facebook at the time, that you guys are feeding these kids, and my husband and I just want to say thank you. Can you meet me at this parking lot in front of Target?" And I swear to you, Mary, I don't meet strange women at the Target parking lot. So I text my wife and I say, "This is where I'm going. If my body goes missing, right, just start looking here. Send forensics." And anyway, I get there, and she gets out of her minivan. She has this envelope, and as she's getting out, one of her girls reaches from the back seat to the front seat into the cup holder and the console, takes some change and sticks it in there, and this woman hands it to me, and she says, "My husband and I just want to say thank you for what you're doing in the community with these kids. We want you and Heather to go have a good time." I open up this envelope, and there are 8 $100 bills in the envelope, and then 4 quarters that little girl stuck in there, which is super sweet, I hug her neck and I tell her thank you. And as a guitar player, I'm thinking there's probably another Les Paul or a Strat or something that I need, in my closet. Heather did not want to do that. She wanted to go to Fredericksburg and do a weekend thing. So anyway, we took the money, we put it in the safe, and that was on a Friday. On Saturday, I go to the mailbox, and there's a thank you card from a woman in Pasadena. "See what you're doing. Here is $30. Put it to the cause." So we reach out to a friend of mine who's a CPA in Houston, right? Because I'm a guitar player. I only have to count to 4. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a CPA. I don't want to get in trouble with the IRS.
Yep.
And I reach out to Floyd and say, "This is what we want to do. We want to start this nonprofit." And he says, "Great. We can do that in-house. We'll take care of all your things, and our fee is $830. I'm like, "Okay, this is what we're doing." We pull the trigger. We start that journey. And about 2 weeks later, I wake up in the middle of the night in a panic because I had forgotten to register us with the state of Texas. And so I hop on the website, and it's about $40 to register with the comptroller. Not a big deal. Put in my information, my card, go back to bed. And when I get up, because we're a nonprofit, they had charged us $1, which took the last 4 quarters out of that envelope. And so we have that envelope in a frame in our warehouse just to say this feels like destiny. It feels like fate. So this is what we're doing. So from that original 12, we've now fed about 190,000 kids across Central Texas.
That is amazing.
So it has been a crazy journey, learning experience for sure.
And we have been watching you and participating with you, so we're so happy to see the things that you're doing.
Thank you. Yeah.
So that is the nonprofit. If anybody would like to donate or to be a volunteer, how do they get in touch with you?
Sure. Backpackfriends.com is the easiest. We do 4 big events throughout the year that we do: fundraisers, golf tournaments, galas, that kind of thing. Volunteers, if they want to donate, if there's a corporate connection somewhere that they want to come out and do a corporate team building day, then all those things are great.
And your gala, is it, last year it was in February, is that the same this year?
February 17th.
Okay.
February 17th in Round Rock. Golf tournament is in May in Round Rock. We have a hunger walk and a 5K in October, and then our big holiday event that we just wrapped up is in November.
Okay. So everybody, please do reach out and help support Tom and all of the work that he is doing. There are so many kids in need right now.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so now tell us about Rebel 90.
Oh, goodness. So I grew up a very sick kid.
Okay.
So from the time I was 9 months old to about 7 or 8 years old, I spent a lot of time with a lot of cardiovascular issues, hospitals, home, bedridden, croup tents, like all the things. So I grew up as a sick kind of kid. And I was never very athletic. I've been through parts of my life where I was thin and unhealthy and overweight and unhealthy, right? Just never really healthy. And so about a year and a half ago, I went to my buddy Jay, went to his house, knocked on his door, literally, in May, and said, I need someone to be accountable to.
Okay.
I want to do one thing every day that helps me take one step to a better me, physically, mentally, and spiritually. And so for the next 90 days, I want to do something, and I want you to help keep me accountable.
Okay.
And so he said, I'll do it. I went home. I put together some different things from different programs to fit what I was looking to do.
Okay.
And started posting on social media to be accountable so that all my friends would say, hey, what is this you're doing? How's it going? So people like you, when I would see you, tell me what you did today. And just started keeping a log of all the things I was doing. And over that 90-day period, 100 or more people messaged me saying, hey, I don't know what you're doing, but can I do it too? Can I join you? Can I be a part of it? And so I realized that Jay and I needed to come up with something a little more concrete than just, hey, here's something that Tom's doing. So we launched this program, Rebel90.life. It's totally free, but there's a 90-day protocol of every day. Whether you spend 10 minutes walking, 10 minutes in a meditation or prayer, you're going to knock out seed oils or do something like that nutritionally. Journaling, lots of mental health issues. One of the things that have discovered is that it's segmented into body, mind, and spirit.
Okay.
What I realize is that when I lean into doing something physically, whether it's a workout, a walk, whatever that is, nutritionally, that, of course, impacts my mental state.
Right.
Biochemically, hormonally, all those things happen, which then impacts lessons that I learn spiritually, and it impacts everything.
Because it's all tied together.
It's all tied together. I've learned in a real deep way that those things can't be separated.
Correct.
If I spend time with my mental health or my mental fitness, right, that impacts my relationships. It impacts me as a dad, as a father, as a husband, as a boss. It teaches me lessons. I'm going to be real transparent. It teaches me lessons spiritually. You know, the things I do I don't want to do, the things I don't want to do, that's what I end up doing. For some people that in our program, that has been things like pornography or binging Netflix or whatever those default things have been.
Right.
For me, that has been sitting on the couch and devouring a box of Oreos while I'm watching Netflix, right? And so that impacts my gut health and my mental state So it has a ripple effect to my physical health. And so it's been this super cool journey as people have come in through different avenues saying, hey, I'm joining Rebel 90 because I need a social community element for my mental health. You know, some people come in and say, hey, I want to walk with you every day because I need to move my body and burn fat and develop my cardiovascular, or whatever those things are.
Right.
So it's kind of been a happy accident of you try to do something for your own self and it resonates with somebody.
Well, and in all of the conversations we're having with people right now, community keeps coming up.
Really?
It has been such a synergistic conversation as of late. And, you know, one of the earlier conversations I was having today was essentially that we've always known that we need community, but COVID really showed all of us how much we need community.
Yeah.
You know, during that time, and all the states were different. I was in the Northeast at the time. That was a totally different experience than being down here in Texas. We were all sequestered and we were all separated. School moved online, work moved online, life in general moved online, and we all lost the interpersonal connection. And community is just such a huge part of being a healthy person, whether that is just because you've got somebody to talk to, or because you've got somebody to exercise with, or somebody to hold you accountable, or just to be there.
Yeah. It's so interesting. And that totally resonates with me. We're in this loneliness epidemic
Absolutely.
right now. And loneliness and isolation is so toxic to us, right? I heard Simon Sinek. I saw an interview with him. I wish I could take credit for it, but he's smarter than me. But one of his explanations was, you think about the 3 organs that we need for longevity. What's the 3 things that we need the most for longevity? Your heart, right? And that makes sense. You've got to have a strong, healthy heart. Your lungs, the cardio, everything, that makes sense. Don't smoke. Don't put anything in your lungs that's not air. That's probably a good idea. The 3rd muscle, statistically, is your thigh muscles. Not just for mobility to squat and pick up groceries and that kind of thing, but the social aspect of if we can't move and be together, we're stuck in that isolation and it degenerates every part of our life.
And look at the longevity studies where they're talking about the fact that these people that have a community, they're living longer and happier. And I know in watching even my own grandparents, when one of them was lost and the other one just decided, I don't want to live anymore because this person that I loved for 50 years is gone. And we lost them very quickly. And we see that frequently with older couples. When one passes, the other one passes very quickly afterwards.
Wow.
So,
well, and I wonder, and again, this is kind of outside my toolbox, but I wonder, I have a friend who just retired. He is 53.
wow.
His wife will retire this year. And his retirement plan over the last 2 years has involved sitting on the porch or in the lazy boy. Now he's beginning to have all these health issues. He's a drummer friend. And his health has just declined almost overnight. Just because he's isolated. He's not involved in a community. He's not moving. He doesn't have any, I feel like maybe he's losing some of his purpose.
Yes.
And I think that's a big, when my mom passed away, my mom has been gone about 9 years. She had breast cancer.
I'm sorry.
And when she passed, my dad grieved and did all the things. And after about a year, got super involved with his veterans group, with the Rotary, with the church group. And he doesn't sit still. And he's 82 and active and drives, and his health is probably better now than it's been in the last 15 years.
Because he found purpose and movement and community.
Yeah.
It plays such a big part, and people really don't understand what an impact that it has on you. So whether that's in your family life, your personal life, or even in your working life, like the community that we have here in our area, we're outside of Austin. This is a huge town, all right? But it is also such a small town. I'll show up at events and I'll run into people that I'm like, I didn't know you guys knew each other. I didn't know. Like, I've invited you before to meet with other people that I know, and you already know some of them.
Isn't that strange? So my kids hate that because we go someplace and I always see someone that I know. The joke is, it's kind of like the mafia, because someone will say, hey, I need a mechanic. I need a plumber. I need a brain surgeon. I need a therapist. And the running joke is, oh, well, Dad has a guy. But it's such a blessing to be networked into a community when you can call someone and say, hey, I need this, or I need this referral, or I need a resource. There's purpose when those people around you are aligned. There's some alignment there, and that makes a huge difference.
Oh, absolutely. And in the professional space, I know in the community here, I've got somebody. And if I don't know the person that I need, somebody in my circle knows that person that I need. But I also know that all of you are there to hold me accountable.
Yeah.
Yep.
For instance, 4 years ago, I met this woman. I just got certified as a nutrition coach, and I'm like doing all these things. And I'd met this woman who is a nutritionist. Our paths were so similar. Like, we were just aligned in so many ways. And I kept running into her at these different events. She reached out one day and said, hey, I'd like for us to do a one-on-one and get to know each other, and I think we could do some things together. Then I crop up and see her everywhere, and then I see that her name's Cynthia, and I see her connected to you, connected to Teresa, connected to all these people, because there's so much synergy, and we need that community.
Absolutely.
We've got to have that. One of the things that I feel like I have a love-hate relationship with social media. It is a blessing and a curse. And we have 5,000 Facebook friends, or whatever the number is. But, Dunbar's number talks about how we can really only manage about 150 relationships at a time. The older I get, the more I get involved in businesses and communities and that kind of thing, the more that number seems to shrink. But those relationships they're valuable. They become more valuable, I think.
And I love watching all of the people in our community continue to grow and to support each other, and just how many, tendrils we all have with one another. So that's So I want to go back to Rebel 90, and you're taking one step at a time. So I don't remember which of the biohackers I was listening to, but they were talking about the fact that, just making one small change, by the end of the year, you have made a massive difference in your life. Without some of the coaches you go to, they're like, oh, go empty your whole pantry and, replace everything. Well, that's not reasonable. And it's also not something that most families can do or afford. When I get back a genetic report with somebody and it says, well, we need to avoid this particular thing, like gluten. Okay, this is not go home and empty every gluten item from your cabinet today, because groceries cost a lot. But as we're replacing things, let's start being more cognizant of what are we replacing with and substituting as we move forward. So how are you seeing that impact your life as you make one change at a time?
Oh, gosh, what a great question. So I will say up front, I don't come from a family of healthy eaters. What I thought were my genetic predispositions to things have been more environmental. It's not because I'm big boned, it's because I like Oreos, those things, right? So it's been a slow process of, let's make one healthy swap. Let's go from, for instance, taking my dad from using Crisco to using a good olive oil or coconut oil. It boiled down to me going, hey, Dad, I'm going to throw this away and I'm going to order you something else. Just one thing. For me, it was, I started walking 10 to 15 minutes a day, because I can squeeze in 10 to 15. I don't have 2 hours to spend at the gym. So I started walking 10 minutes a day, and that grew into 3 miles a day. And once that, James Clear, Atomic Habits, right? Stacking those habits. Once that habit became part of my identity, it was easy to add a second habit. It was easy to add, I do something called morning pages. Okay? Julia Cameron wrote a great book called The Artist's Way. And it's this process of journaling where you get up in the morning and you just write 3 pages, just a brain, even if you can't think of anything to write, you just write, I don't know what to say, until you fill up 3 pages.
Okay.
And it's like windshield wipers for your mental state. So that process, once it became a habit, once it became really an identity, it was easy to stack that habit onto, okay, now I need to spend 10 minutes reading something. Part of our byline is one step closer. Just take one step. Because what I've discovered is in those 1 steps, I wasn't overwhelmed. It wasn't, I'm going to go sink $1,000 into changing all of my life and then trying to pull my family into that.
Right.
It's kind of like if you're a smoker and I say, hey, Mary, you want to go outside for a smoke? And you say, no, I'm trying to quit. That's a different identity than if I offer you something, you say, no, I don't smoke, right? Just that little identity shift has been a process of changing those little micro habits.
Right.
And now people go, oh, you're that guy. That guy has taken 2 years to build, to retrain, but it's just been one baby step at a time. So it's been interesting.
And there was somebody that was saying that, if you just walk 1 degree every day, by the end of the year, the amount of that change is astronomical.
I'm a nerd, so I track all my own, like all my data, all my steps, all my stuff, because it's interesting to me. In the course of a year, just by walking 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes a day, last year I walked over 1,000 miles 15 minutes at a time and was able to go, wow, look, that didn't take a lot of effort, but it changed my metabolism, my physiology, my mental biochemistry, like it changed everything.
Right.
So those little baby steps become kind of the kindling. They kind of become the motivating factor.
Yeah.
So.
People often step into trying to make changes by trying to make the changes way too big, too fast.
Guilty.
I've done that too, and then I know that I'm going to fail because I can't do that. You can't eat an entire elephant at once. So our conversation is very often, how do you eat the elephant? And it's 1 bite at a time.
Yeah. It's got to be sustainable.
Yes.
I did some really dumb things. I because of my ADD, I can get really hyper-focused on something, right? Yep. And I'll lean into something and go all out. Great guns. I'm going to wipe out my pantry. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do grass-fed, grass-finished, whatever. And then what happens is because of that, I neglect other areas of my life.
Yep.
What I have discovered is that by taking the idea that I'm just going to take 1 step physically, mentally, spiritually, just 1 step, that becomes sustainable and repeatable. It doesn't overwhelm my family. It doesn't overwhelm my life. And it's for longevity. Like it has to be, if you said to me, hey, Tom, I want you to lose 50 pounds by Friday. Can you do that? I would think, no, I can't do that. But then you could come back and say, well, sure, we can take off a leg or take off an arm. We can get you there.
Yeah, I don't know it's going to be enjoyable.
And it's not functional.
Right.
So it's got to be functional. Otherwise, we won't stick with it.
And that's with every change in life.
Yeah, it is. And one of the things that I've noticed through this journey about change is that as we change, as we grow, as we continue to evolve and do all those things, there are people that love us that unintentionally, I think, become obstacles. They become resistant to that, not because they don't love me, but because I'm getting rid of the person that they know and love. I'm becoming something new, and so as I'm getting rid of that person, that brings a lot of uncertainty to them.
Right.
So to bring those people along, to bring them in on the journey, and try to encourage them, you can take 1 step with me. It doesn't have to be the same step.
Yep.
It can just take 1 step. Then that takes me back to community. That's what we're connected with.
So if people want to reach out to you and be part of the Rebel 90 movement, how do they do that?
Rebel90.life or at Rebel90 across all social media machines. Yeah.
And then you also said that you have a book.
I do.
Okay.
I
Tell us
do.
about that.
That book, again, my ADD hyperfocus, I decided I wanted to write a book about creativity, because
Okay.
that has been a huge part of my mental health, is that creation. I've discovered that recreation is recreation. There's a part of that. So I decided in 7 weeks I want to write a book and get it out and get it published, which was insane.
That is very quick.
But it's called Unleashing Your Creativity, Amazon, Kindle, Audible, all the places. And it's just kind of my journey of the subtitle is Lessons from a Reluctant Creative, because I never thought of myself as, I had a lot of imposter syndrome. So many people I look up to. And so I wanted to document what I was doing and lessons I'd learned along the way. People I had connected with, Brene Brown, and some really creative people. And so I wrote this book, Unleashing Your Creativity, again, with the hopes that it would help me be accountable. That once you say something, once you put something out, then people expect you to be what you say you are.
Yep.
And so that's been probably one of the best things I've done personally, is commit to doing that and to get it out. Yeah.
Very cool.
So I'll bring you on.
Awesome. We've interviewed Justin Allman, and I will actually have to connect you to him.
Okay.
He is
All
in
right.
Vegas, but his book is about curiosity to creation.
That's great.
Just based off of what you just said, there's so much overlap between the two of you, so I think that would be a good conversation.
Well, and don't you think, or I do, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I feel like curiosity drives all of this that we're talking about.
Absolutely.
I feel like we live in such an amazing planet with so many people with so many gifts that I have the tendency I want to live to be 120. So once I hit 60, I'll be middle-aged, right? And so there's so many things I want to learn and do and experience, and it all ties in with curiosity. It all ties in with community and connecting with other people.
And because we are in such a connected world, as much as also I hate social media, I use it because I have to for our business and helping to educate people. But also I do meet some of the most amazing people, because how would I have met this person from Las Vegas?
Sure, because we can literally reach anyone on the planet with what's in our pocket.
Right.
Good or bad. Yeah, we're living in an amazing time in history, I think.
It's really frightening some days, but also really, really cool to be living in it.
Yeah, for sure.
Tom, I want to say thank you so much for joining me today. All of our viewers, please make sure that you like, share, subscribe, and follow, and reach out to Tom and see how you can give him a hand with all of the wonderful things he's doing.